full in heart who want a good seat to come forward. Come and join me on our new carpet, or this gorgeous carpet. Rug, I should say. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you're here today. Thank you, Lily. Great. So let us be faithful to God always. Pray always and not lose heart. Something that I have told my 4-year-old often, well, I've told her lately is, if I've told you it once, I told you it about 1,000 times. And I don't know if I got that statement from my mother, or I just noticed that I've said it to my daughter. And I feel like God is saying, through Jesus, is saying that to us again today. Like, I have told you to believe in God and how to do it. And I've told you 1,000 times, actually. Please listen the first time. Has anybody ever said that to you? Right? Listen the first time? Yeah, I know. And so it kind of makes me wonder, how come we don't hear it the first time? Do you have, what's your excuse? Or what do you say? How come sometimes we don't hear what people tell us the first time? Because I'm lazy? Yeah, how come? Okay, good. There's no wrong answer here. So how come you don't hear something the first time? You're distracted. There's a lot of things out there to pay attention to, and there's a lot of noises, like other people talking. There's a lot of noises going on in our head, things happening. And if you went to the 8 o'clock service or read the full lectionary today, the 2 Timothy lectionary talks about having itchy ears. Isn't that great? Like itchy because there's so much wax and you're just clogged up and you're just not able to hear. Yeah. What were we going to say? Well, all of the above. There's a lot of reasons why we don't always hear the first time. Even when it's really important, we don't always get it. We don't always hear it, really. And so my prayer today is that we all need to listen with fresh ears, and we let truth sink in past all of the noises, distractions, laziness, all that stuff into our hungry, hungry hearts. Jesus says today, he gives us a parable. Can you tell me who are the 2 characters in the parable that Father Steve just read? First one is a woman. Do you remember who? Yeah? She's a widow. Good job. Yeah, you're listening. Good job. So there's a widow. And this is a story. It's an interesting story, but it's a story where you can totally see this woman. So she is a widow in that era, in that time. What does a widow mean? What does that term mean? Yeah.
It means that she had.
So the moment that her husband died, in the courts, she has no authority. Just that very moment that happened, she absolutely has no rights, no authority. And so she is coming to the judge and saying, this is not fair. I demand justice. And we can hear it the first time. It's clear that she deserves justice and mercy, right? And then there's a second character in the story. Do we know? We have a widow, and then we had one more other person. A judge, and we know that he's an unjust judge, and he ignores the widow. And I can just see him in my mind. If I was creating the scene, he would be and he would have probably thick-rimmed glasses, and he'd be peering at her over the glasses, kind of looking at her, not very interested, kind of I don't really care. There is a lot of injustice, and I'm just tired. and I'm kind of feel lazy, and I'm just not going to hear your need for justice. So the story is, Jesus says, there are these two people. She says, I need justice. The judge says, I don't care. And she, though, keeps demanding justice again and over and over and over and over. And then Jesus says, faith is like this. We have to keep demanding faith, keep practicing it, keep speaking it, keep doing faith over and over and over and over. And then until we get faith, because the judge finally says, I hear you, and gives justice. Makes me think about the first time I rode a bicycle. So, the first time I rode a bicycle, my grandpa helped me ride a bicycle, and he told me how to do it. He told me everything. How to balance, how to pump my legs, how to mount on the bicycle. I got the right equipment, and I got on, and I fell a lot, actually. And I didn't learn how to do it right the very first time. It took me a couple of weeks. But I kept on practicing. I practiced over and over again, and I got a little bit smart at learning how to ride a bike. Do any of you have any strategies that have worked well for you on riding a bike? Claire? So you utilize training wheels. You're like, okay, I can use some tools that will help me accomplish my goal. This is a metaphor for faith, okay? Right? Getting metaphor level here. Okay, so I'm gonna figure out how to use some tools. I'm gonna use training wheels. Any other strategies for riding a bike? Yeah. Gliding. I'm gonna utilize not just my legs, but there's like a stomach involved. I have to balance. That's why riding a bike is really good for adults. It's because you have to practice balance. It's the only way you're going to be successful on a bike is by learning how to balance. So gliding. Is there any other thing anybody wants to share? Yeah.
First time I rode a two-wheel bike, I got lost.
Yes. Okay. And you're going to fall. It's going to be stressful. There'll be moments of anxiety, and you will fall. But if you keep practicing over and over, and you're determined, and you demand that you will ride a bike by grace and determination, you will learn how to ride. So the same thing is with faith. With faith, if you practice it over and over, and you utilize tools, and you're smart and techniques, and you know that you're gonna fall and you're gonna be frustrated at times, but if you practice faith over and over and over and over again, Jesus says that by grace and determination, you will have faith. And just like riding a bike, once you have faith, you will forever know how to have faith. So keep on keeping on. And the faith is the good life. Amen.